Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back once again to another Fallout 4 settlement build. Today we're going to be checking out a build I've done on Spectacle Island. It's sort of a Brotherhood of Steel outpost, although I'm sure as you can tell, it's not in very good shape. But I believe this is only the second build we've done where we've chosen to integrate some of the other pieces that we add in into an already existing structure. And in my opinion, trying something like this is definitely a lot trickier than just making a standalone building. So what I've done is tried to make this whole building without using any mods whatsoever aside from just little decorations here and there, just in hopes that if you guys wanted to try something similar, it might be possible. But that being said, like always guys, any mods I used are going to be down in the description. So without further ado, let's take a closer look. Alright guys, so we'll start off by checking out the outside of the build, and as you'll see, it's pretty much in shambles right now, and that's because, well, in my main playthrough, let's just say the Prydwen is not flying above the Boston airport anymore. So all these remaining Brotherhood soldiers are still in the midst of rebuilding this place. And like I mentioned, I tried not using any mods, in fact I didn't at all, to build the outside structure, all the towers and walls. That being said, I had to use quite a few glitches. I'm sure you've all heard of the carpet glitch, so I tried using that for most of the walls. As for the floors, since there weren't many in this building to begin with, I had to use a pillar and just kind of... It's tough to explain, but if you place a piece close enough to, say, a cement pillar, or I'm pretty sure even one of these wooden beams here, holding this up, you can actually group them together, and if you move them into the house, it shouldn't turn red. So floors like these can still be placed inside, so that was definitely a relief. And also, when placing some of the walls up top, I didn't have to glitch them all, because thankfully enough, if you get at least one or two down, it should allow you to just attach other ones onto them normally, in most cases, even if it's going through a bit of rubble, so that was definitely a nice surprise, and obviously made things quite a bit easier. Also, for the outside here, I did try using as few Far Harbor pieces as possible, since I noticed in our last few builds we used quite a bit of those, so for this one, I tried mixing it up a bit and chose to use the warehouse walls instead, which honestly I think look a little bit better when mixed into the wood that the original house had. Although since we are pretty close to the water, I still chose to use a few buoys here and there, and I don't think those look too bad. But yeah, the outside is pretty much completely unmodded aside from that GNR sign up there, and that just kind of goes along with the whole Brotherhood theme. And as a matter of fact, GNR is actually what kind of inspired me to actually make this a Brotherhood style place, the inside especially. I just noticed, at least when there weren't that many pieces in here, all the rubble and ruin really just kind of reminded me of GNR for some reason. But I think for the outside that is pretty much it. We'll check out the balcony later on, but I tried keeping it as vanilla as I could, just because I thought that looked a bit better. For some reason, I noticed, and this goes for interiors as well, most people try to clear out all the rubble and crap as much as they can, and I mean, it is Fallout after all, and it's an apocalypse, so I don't really see why they do that. Maybe they just like the clean look of things, but me personally, I enjoy a bit of rubble here and there, and honestly, I think it makes it look a bit more realistic. So now moving inside, you'll notice, at least for the entrance area here, there really is not a whole lot, and once again, that's just because they are in the process of rebuilding. That being said, I think it would be kind of cool to maybe later on down the road build a version of this that's even more built up, and who knows, maybe they'll have a strong force by then. Speaking of that, there's actually a little recording area up top, which I'm hoping 3Dog will maybe venture to one of these days and rally the troops of the Boston Commonwealth. But we'll see about that. In fact, I'm not even sure if he's with the Brotherhood anymore, seeing as what they did a while back, but let's not get into that. Anyways, down here in the first floor, you'll see there's a few decorations that are just kind of reminiscent of some Brotherhood memories I've had, not only in Fallout 4, but also 3 as well, hence the Museum of Technology one. If any of you played that game, you'll probably remember 3Dog sends you there to get something to help him broadcast. Now as for this, I'm pretty sure This is that satellite area. I'm not exactly certain where it is on the map. I think it's somewhere up north. But if you do some of the missions for Paladin Dance, I think he sends you up there to find some of the missing recon soldiers. So like I said, I'm pretty sure that's what that is, but that's why I chose to put that sign in there. Also around here is a little lounge area. I tried to add as few of these as possible since this is kind of a more military focused building, but one or two definitely added to the overall look. Back here, this is just kind of a nice walkway to get over the rubble. I think I even had to glitch most of this in with carpets and whatnot, so that was definitely a pain in the ass, but now that it's in, I think it was definitely worth all the trouble. And I think I've said this before, but man oh man, I sure do love the light this thing gives off. You can really see all the dust and atmosphere caught in the light there. By the way, whenever you see these rugs here, those are just where guards are supposed to be standing. But yeah, moving on over here, I guess we'll check out the bedrooms first. And then we'll move on over to the power armor repair station in a bit. But yeah, above the bedroom door here, you'll see it says Ad Victorium, which, if you've played Fallout 4 and have seen the Brotherhood of Steel at all, I'm sure you'll know where that comes from. But in the bedroom, there's really not too much, just a bit of storage, poster about communism, so I thought that was rather fitting. 3 beds, not too many since there really aren't that many people here yet, and also there's not really much room for beds anywhere else. But they've each got their own little foot locker or bag and full-size lockers towards the back wall. And I'm sure you've seen there are a couple American flags here and there. Unfortunately, and I'm not sure if this is because I went against the Brotherhood, but I no longer have access to their flags. If I did, I would definitely add some around the building here and there. So that's just another decoration I'd recommend you put in if you still have the option. Unfortunately, I do not. But moving on in here, like I said, this is the power armor repair station, and there's also some paints here and there. This is, by the way, the Do It Yourshelf mod. Kind of a clever name. But yeah, there's paints there so they can add some color to their armor if they want to. There's tools and parts here and there. Not sure what this thing is here, but I put it in because it has the Brotherhood of Steel logo, so I thought that was kind of cool. And you may have caught a glimpse of this earlier, but really quick before we head upstairs, this is just their small armory that they have so far, and that's kind of why I've chosen to board off that door, because before it was actually open, so I had to glitch that. I think it was a half wall, but it fit in there quite nicely, and it doesn't look too bad from the other side either, which was quite nice. And then this, just more parts, some boxes that maybe have ammo in them or something. But that is pretty much it for the downstairs. I think we covered just about everything. I did mention I do want to fill this up later, so if you guys have any ideas for how I could do that, maybe stuff for this area or even more items from in there, I'd love to hear them, so feel free to put those down in the comments. But now moving up to the second level. This is where the recording studio is. And yeah, I'm really hoping 3Dog comes here eventually. Still not sure if he's with them, but this is where he'd be. And this, by the way, this is a really cool sign we have. Thought that was rather fitting at the whole theme we have going. And then here are some more communism ones. A waiting area in case someone eventually wanted to talk to 3Dog, or whoever decides to take place here. And when I make these things, and this is just one more tip for you guys, try and add some story to them. You can see he's even got a script that he could eventually read off of. And I think that might be an Enclave soldier, hence all the plasma. Now this, unfortunately, no guards would ever stand there, so I just put down the power armor. Although it is kind of menacing looking, so maybe that's a good thing. Also, up on the second floor, towards the stairs, we have a small storage area, which, as you can tell, is very empty right now, but We can hope they filled it up more in the future. They also have some more communism signs, and over here is the, I guess, commander's planning table. So I tried to make it look like maybe those were the Brotherhood soldiers and they're trying to plan out their next attack on maybe some robots, or those could even represent gunners or something. But I believe that's pretty much it for the indoors of the upstairs. So also out here we have someone on guard. This is a watchtower. Prior to this, I did try making it a little lighthouse type thing, since we were so close to the water, but the spotlights, they just didn't really emit enough light to actually beam down all the way to the ground, so kind of disappointing, but it is still kind of a cool concept. And then moving back towards the far corner, you can see we have another flag hanging up there, the radio beacon, and also way over there in the back is another watchtower. But yeah, guys, that should do it for today. So hopefully you did enjoy the video, and if you tried building here, especially on this particular house, I know it can be troubling, so hopefully this at least gave you some inspiration or maybe a few ideas of your own that would help you conquer the monstrosity that this thing is. But like you saw up top and even some sections down low were rather barren, and eventually I would love to fill those spots in. So if you have any ideas, feel free to put them down in the comments, and also any recommendations for future builds would be awesome too. But anyways, that being said, guys, I think that just about wraps it up. So once again, thanks for watching, and as always, hopefully I will see you in the next one.